Now, for those in the audience, getting to know you for the very first time, can you share some of those details of how much time you did, whether it was federal or state, where you were stationed at, in a quick synopsis?
I did a whole lot of time, man. You know what I'm saying? I left when I was real young. I got sentenced to 35 years. And I got sentenced to 35 years when I was a teenager. You know what I'm saying? I was already a millionaire though, before I went to prison. And I was heavy in the streets, you know what I'm saying? I was hustling like a motherfucker, you know, doing all kind of extracurricular shit, hitting licks. So I had accumulated a couple million before I even got picked up and went and got put in prison. You know what I'm saying? So I served 17 years in the pen. And I did most of all my time in Florida though. So it was a hell of an experience, man. It was a hell of a journey. But I made it through that bitch though, you know? Without a scar on my face. Without a stain on my name. You know what I'm saying? So I'm grateful for that. I give Allah all the glory for, you know, going through such a extraordinarily traumatizing, you know, situation and still making it out with a sound mind and without, you know, picking up real bad habits and shit. Like a lot of motherfuckers don't even know I've been in prison that long, can't even tell by how I conduct myself, you know what I'm saying? So that's a blessing in itself. I know niggas that did 5 years, they get out, they goddamn waking up at 5 in the morning, cooking motherfucking ramen noodles and shit, you know what I'm saying? And just wake up in the morning, first thing they do is hit the floor and do push-ups. So for me to serve 17 years in the penitentiary and my niggas around me wouldn't even know I did that time. And only how they know I did that time is because they know me. You see what I'm saying?
What age were you when you entered that system and when you exited?
When I first entered that system, I was real young, man. I was a teenager, like 15 going on 7, you know, 15, 17, shit like that. And I did 17 years, so shit, you do the math. You feel me?
Well, you mentioned two different ages here, 15 and 17.
Yeah, I caught crimes. Well, when I was 15, I was accused of a double homicide. You know what I'm saying? So I went to Youth Development Center, YDC, youth prison, you know what I'm saying, for some other charges related to that because, you know, they didn't have sufficient evidence in that situation. Nevertheless, we ain't gonna talk about that one. We're gonna keep it moving. But yeah, so I ended up going to prison. I went to prison, caught 35 years in Florida. And eventually I worked in the law library. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was rich when I fell though. But I left money with a lot of people in my family. You know what I'm saying? Some girls I was fucking with, some bitches, they ran off with the money. Niggas in my family fucked up the bag. So I end up in prison without a lawyer. So I had to fight appeals. And when I first got in the prison cell, they put me in a cell with an older brother. He was an OG. He had already, I never forget, his name was Victor. Vic had already served about 15 years. He was getting ready to go home. He was like, Jit, you know what I'm saying? You here now? Chasing one-whams and zoom-zooms and, you know, being on the basketball court on the rec yard all day. But that shit ain't gonna get you out of prison. He's like, young nigga, you got 35 years. So what you need to do, you need to motherfucking put your head in these law books. If you wanna get out this shit, you better learn the law, learn how to apply the law, cause you ain't got no motherfucking money to get out. So what you gonna do? So I said, shit. He showed me a law book. It was a Black Laws Dictionary. He said, you start right here with this Black Laws Dictionary. This is the motherfucking language of the law. Just like you got the language out there in the street, just like y'all talk that slang, this is the motherfucking law slang. This the slang the courtroom talk. So you need to get this motherfucking dictionary and learn every motherfucking word in this Black Law Dictionary. So that's what I started doing. I started learning all the words in the dictionary. And he slapped the case law before me. He said, this case right here was decided by the United States Supreme Court. You need to learn how to read these motherfucking cases, apply the words that you learned from that Black Laws Dictionary, and learn how to motherfucking understand and comprehend this law, and learn how to write your own petitions and motions up. And that's the best advice a motherfucker gave me when I came to that chain gang. I used that advice and I used him as inspiration. And I seen Vic walking out that gate. I was on the first 35 years. I was only in the cell with Vic for 2 weeks. On the second week, I seen Vic walking out that motherfucking gate with his brown paper bag in his hand, with his white t-shirt on, waving. He was like, I'm gone, Jit. I fought my way up out that bitch, now it's your turn. I had no choice, man. I buried myself into that law. I learned the lingo. I learned the diction of the law. And shit, I started motherfucking litigating my own motions, man. I couldn't afford no attorney. So shit, I became a motherfucking paralegal in the penitentiary. Got myself up out that motherfucker with the help of Allah, you know?
And this was federal prison?
Nah, it was state.
State prison.
Yeah.
And care to share where you were stationed at during that time?
I was at Florida State Penitentiary, home of death row. I fed, you know what I'm saying? Like, actually, I was on what they call CM, which is closed management, you know what I'm saying? I had gotten into a lot of shit, so I used to have to feed the inmates on death row. That was a part of my detail, you know what I'm saying? So I had became close with a lot of inmates on death row. Cause you know, I had to feed them their food. I had to serve them their food, you know, pour them their juices and shit. And one of the things that really bothered me is that I had got close to a death row inmate. His name was Henry Lee. He had been on death row for like 32 years. And one day he came, he said, hey, Jit, come here, Gold, come here. So I ran down the ranks, because you know, we don't supposed to go down on the tiers unless it's a correctional officer there watching us. So I ran down there on the ranks, man. He said, man, the governor just signed my death warrant. He said, after the 4th, I might not see you no more. I said, man, they ain't gonna do nothing but motherfucking postpone that shit, give you a continuance. He said, nah, man, I think I done had all the continuances I'm gonna get. So he said, get all this stuff from me. He gave me a bunch of books. He gave me a lot of his property. You know what I'm saying? And shit, I seen when they came and got Mr. Heron, and they walked him down the tier. They took him to the psychological evaluation rooms, trying to see was he mentally prepared to get executed. And shit, when the 4th came, they shut the prison down. I seen people out the window with their picket signs, you know, protesting against the death penalty. And I seen the hearse when they pulled off, man. And that was Mr. Heron, man. They killed him. They executed him. That shit broke my heart. So being in prison like that, you know what I'm saying, you have to learn not to get close to people. You have to learn to detach yourself from people. You know what I'm saying? That goes for even the outside, shit out here on the outside, man. And I said one day, man, when I got out of prison, man, I was gonna motherfucking rap again, and I was gonna tell my story. And this is a part of that journey right here, you know?
Now, understanding that law dictionary and those terms and writing your own petitions and becoming a paralegal as you described and things of that nature, would you say that was your key to survival? And if not, what was during that entire time in state prison for you?
I think my key to survival was really not giving a fuck. You know what I'm saying? That just educated me legally. You know, I learned my Constitution rights. You know what I'm saying? I learned the whole 14th Amendment by heart. You know, that made me more dangerous. Like when it came to, you know, if I got to kill a nigga in here, I know my motherfucking rights. I can beat the case. You know, if a nigga moving wrong. But I think what helped me survive was my mentality. You know, I had a real killer instinct. You know, shit, I wasn't there. I wasn't finna take no shit from nobody. Like anybody that tell you in the penitentiary who locked up with gold, they gonna tell you the homie Smile, he was a great guy. I mean, he was a real manageable person, but the motherfucker was a real deal killer. Don't play with him. And that's how I survived the penitentiary. Niggas knew what it was. If I went to this camp, they were like, oh yeah, go here. Like, you know what I'm saying? Don't play with Jit. Like, Jit ain't nobody to play with. Like, he gonna respect you. He gonna motherfucking do everything he supposed to do. But don't play with him, cause you know what I'm saying? You gonna step on some shit. And that's how it was for me, so that would help me survive. And I say another thing too though, Islam helped me survive too, you know what I'm saying? Cause when I got in there, you know, I was born a Muslim. So I was already practicing Islam before I went to prison. But when I got in prison, you know, everything amplified by 10. So, you know, I started deening, you know what I'm saying, practicing Islam, trying to do it the right way. And that helped me stay out a lot of shit too, you know what I'm saying?
Now, when it comes to Islam, does it get any more specific under that religion for you, like a particular denomination, for example?
Particular denomination on Islam is...
Yeah, such as Sunni Islam or Shia Islam, for example.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? All of those are our brothers, you know. Nevertheless, I follow the sunnah of the Prophet, peace be upon him, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's the sunnah of Islam, you know, the ways of the Prophet. So that's basically what we follow, you know what I'm saying?
And why that for you in particular?
Because it's the right way. It's the right way. It's the right way to practice Islam. It's what Allah and His Prophet ordained for us to do. And so we practice in a way in which the Prophet, peace be upon him, and the Sahabas, his companions, practiced the Islam.
And just for some further context, was that how you were raised? Or was that something you chose on your own, that particular denomination?
Yeah, my dad actually, and my mama, when they was married, they was both practicing Muslims. So I was born into Islam. That's where I get my name from. My real name is Amir. So I was born into the Islam, you know what I'm saying? It was instilled within me. But of course, poverty and other things make you deviate. You know what I'm saying? The streets make you deviate. So I was out here living like a motherfucking non-believer, you know, before I went to prison, because I was chasing the fast money, the women, the cars, you know, everything in this world, you know what I'm saying? So the Islam got put on the back burner. But once you get placed in those incarceration situations, you know what I'm saying, you have to get more in tune with self, more in tune with your religion, more in tune with your creator. And that's a part of my journey, you know what I'm saying? When I went to prison, I got more in tune with Islam, learning the surahs, learning how to be a better practicing Muslim, you feel me?
And not trying to put any words in your mouth here, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's almost as if...
I will.
It's almost as if you doing this time was almost like a timeout, maybe to concentrate on that.
Yeah, I mean, this shit might sound crazy, man, but I was listening to my nigga Charleston White, right? I went to his comedy show the other day, and he was saying how necessary. He was saying how necessary motherfucking jailhouses and prisons are for young niggas growing up in the streets. Cause it's like, motherfuckers be hard-headed as fuck, man. Nobody don't want to listen to nobody. Everybody out here stuck on stupid doing dumb shit. But when you fall, when your ass wind up behind them bars for real, for a long period of time, it make you come to your senses. You know what I'm saying? Either nigga, that's when you really learn that nigga, I ain't so bad after all. I ain't as bad as I thought I was. So penitentiaries, although it's fucked up, you know, I don't want to say it, but it's the truth. They have become like the motherfucking parents in the household for a lot of niggas. Cause niggas don't believe they mama can't tell them shit on the street. They daddies more likely ain't in their life. And if they is, they don't give a fuck. They don't respect their daddies cause they daddies can't motherfucking buy them the latest goddamn Louis Gucci or whatever. So they don't really respect a motherfucker who ain't in position, who ain't in power for real. So it ain't no respect in the households out here. So the only time these young niggas, you know, get chastised for real is when they ass get behind them walls. And so, you know, that's just how fucked up it is, but that's just how the culture is. You know what I'm saying? Niggas run up in your house, shoot you, pull out guns and all this shit. But when you see these niggas doing that shit, it be the motherfuckers that never really been behind them walls for real for the most part. They act like they ain't got nothing to lose. But when they ass get back there behind the walls and them people, them motherfucking white folks say, nigga, you got 20 plus motherfucking, another 30 over here running consecutively, running wild, not together. And then everything just dawn on them. Oh my God, I'm fucked up. I'm finna be an old ass man getting out this bitch. They get their mind right. Some of them, you know, make it out on appeal. Some niggas die in that motherfucker. But a lot of us have to go through those experiences to recognize, to realize how precious life is. You know what I'm saying? You have to bump your head in the worst way before you realize that, damn, what the fuck am I here robbing these folks for their hard-earned money for? These people work hard for their shit. What make me exempt? I need to work hard for my shit. That's when, you know, those things go to circulating in your mind when you become more conscious. Otherwise, you're gonna be out here seeing motherfucking goals, seeing this other nigga work hard all day in a hot ass sun or in the cold ass weather. And soon as the man cut him a paycheck, here come a nigga bop you upside the motherfucking head and take your shit. You don't know that's wrong until you get put in a fucked up predicament. That's when you learn it's wrong.
Now, sidestepping the conversation here.
Yeah.
What is your opinion? And of course, circumstances could be different for everyone. But from your vantage point, what is your opinion when you see someone come into the prison system 2 or 3 different times for 2 or 3 different bids? They go to prison for maybe a year or 2. They get out, back into the free world. End up getting back for another 2 or 3 years. End up being in the free world, free society. But end up coming back again to the prison system for a 3rd time. This is just an example.
That's called recidivism. And you know what I'm saying? When you going back, you know what I'm saying, in the chain gang. Most of those people be like drug addicts though. You see what I'm saying? They go in for some petty ass felonies and they get back out. You know what I'm saying? They go back. You know, shit like that. You feel me? I think them some stupid motherfuckers are some people that's really addicted and really need help. And unfortunately, a lot of those people don't learn. They have to get sentenced to 30 years to life and die in prison because it ain't no way in the hell you gonna tell me you like freedom, you like pussy, and every time you turn around, you in and out of jail. You can't love freedom. You can't appreciate the pleasure of pussy. You can't. Cause ain't no in the hell you gonna like to do what you wanna do. Cause I used to hate when them people tell me shower time, lights out, everybody in the bed. What? Man, it's 10 motherfucking o'clock. And you talking about lights out? The day just started. I used to hate that shit. So if anybody want to be so tough and so gangster that they feel like that's okay to get told lights out, today is motherfucking hot dog day. You can't even eat what the fuck you want to eat. If the chow hall feed hot dog, bitch, you gotta eat a hot dog. Unless you're gonna go to the canteen, you know, go to the store and get you a ramen noodle soup, chop up some sausage and put some cheese squeeze in this motherfucker. Come, who wanna eat that? Who wanna live like that for the rest of their life? So it gotta be a stupid motherfucker that continuously go in and out of prison. It mean that they ain't wired right. Something psychologically is fucked up with that individual. And maybe it's not prison that they need. Maybe it's a motherfucking psych ward, you know?
Okay, finishing up the conversation here just about religion, and just for clarification here, this mother and father of yours, did they raise you under the Shia denomination, or was the Shia denomination picked up when you do enter the prison system?
Nah, I'm not Shia. I'm a part of the Sunnah.
Oh, so, excuse me. I apologize about that.
Yeah.
That's what I meant to say. Sorry. Was that from the raising of your mother and father? Was
Yeah.
it their denomination?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, my last question here about the prison system. Now, circumstances could be different for everyone. But there may be someone in the audience right now, watching or listening to this interview, that may be going in themselves. Can you give that person or any of those individuals 5 tips on how to survive in state prison?
Nigga, don't drop the soap. Nah, man. You know, mainly, man, I can repeat this shit 5 times. Mind your motherfucking business, mind your business, mind your business, mind your motherfucking business, and mind your business, man. That's it. If you mind your business in the penitentiary, you won't have a lot of problems. You know what I'm saying? You won't have to worry about getting involved in other people's affairs and shit. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I did for the most part. I mind my business. I didn't be all into other people's shit. You know what I'm saying? And I only addressed problems when they came my way. But whenever a problem come your way, you gotta nip that shit in the butt. Cause if you let a motherfucker push you one time, they gonna push you again and again. Before you know it, you're gonna be pushed in the corner. So whenever I had an issue, I put it all on the line. I just made sure I went ahead and nipped that shit right there. You see what I'm saying? I didn't gamble. I didn't borrow shit from niggas. And I ain't fuck no punks. Excuse me. I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't involved myself in the homosexuality. You see what I'm saying? So I was good with that. I didn't gamble. I didn't borrow shit from niggas. I ain't partake in homosexuality. I mind my own business. You know what I'm saying? And I study to show myself approval. That's it.
Anything else on the topic of the state prison system?
Hell no. Fuck prison, man. Hell no.